Get inspired by seeing fellow heroes apply AHK in everyday wins. The shared stories alone make membership a no-brainer. Join our Friday and Saturday Zooms for 3 hours of hands-on AHK teaching and support. Get unstuck and level up in real time.
If it's script scanner, yes.
Can you see my screen?
I can, but it's pretty tiny. I'm looking for, yes, I see.
You have to, yeah, you have to click on the little, yeah, icon to do that. All right, so what we're looking for is a GUI. So I'm gonna find the GUI here. Oh, there is no GUI here. Is that true?
No, there's a GUI.
Maybe it is in a different file though. By scrolling, I didn't see anything that said GUI, and by searching, I didn't see anything that said GUI either. So in this file on Script Scanner, I don't have that. So let me confirm something real quick. We get the running scripts. Let me see if it is in one of the includes. Nope, there is no include. Load commands and get match keys. So I don't see anything that implies that there's a GUI here. And this is on the lookup HD script scanner. Is that the one? Maybe that's not.
Lookup. Sorry, lookup.
Let me scanner.
Just script scanner AHK.
Yeah, the thing is that I saw several of them. So script scanner, this one, script scanner.ahk in tools lookup HD. Is that the one?
No, not lookup. No, not lookup. It's just script scanner, period. Can I help? I've got it open on my version of VS Code.
Okay. Let me ask you this. You have a folder called AutoHotkey Scripts. You have active and development. Is it in one of those?
It's under active. It's under main. Main. Yeah.
And in here, I'm looking for script to launch other scripts, list all open programs.
Oh, you know what? Actually, it's not there. Sorry. Okay. How can I? It's not respond. Okay. I'll move it in there.
So the file was not there.
Yeah. Okay, here. Okay, copy. I'll copy to that. Did it copy? So there, I've copied it. Now it's under main. So I think if you refresh.
That's a good question. Can I refresh? Oh, there it is. Yes, now I can see it. All right.
There we go.
Now, if I look for GUI, this is where the GUI lives. And then we have some sort of, all right, get selection controls. Now, here's the point. I see that the GUI is created, but I don't see any controls being created. And those are kind of like the GUI add. So for that, I will find anything that is GUI add, GUI.add. And there we go. So we have a few buttons. We have a text control, legend. We have a group box. So I think this is the one that is going through the scripts. And then for each of them, it adds checkboxes. That's it. Bottom controls, there's a horizontal line, so on. Now, okay, so they are not text controls. They are checkboxes. Now, what I'm looking at here is that each of the checkboxes that you're creating have a very specific width, 270 pixels. That's your problem. Now that we have that problem, we have the other problem is that your group box is also having a width that is a fixed width. So for anybody working with this, here's the idea. If you are dynamically creating the controls like this, which is we look at the list, we don't know the size of the name, we don't know the sizes of anything, then having widths like this is not a good idea because we don't know the size of the name of the thing. The other way that we can do this would be truncating the name. Would you like me to truncate the name, or would you like me to expand as we go?
Expand as we go.
That one is a little bit trickier, but let's go for it. So one of the things is I would need to, the reason why it's tricky is because of the group box. You will see what I mean. So if I remove this size right there, I already create the checkbox with the correct size, because when it comes with the script name, it will have the size of the script name. So I don't have to worry about it. But I just saved it. If you run it, what would happen is, let me try that. Let me run it. What would happen is that sometimes, yeah, sure. Of course not. It cannot run it because this is not in my computer. Let's create a copy of this somewhere. Let me create a copy on my local drive. And this is a self-contained script, right? So I don't.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right.
It's just the only thing outside of it is a diagnostic that it writes.
Okay. So I'm just opening my local version just to test it around. Oop. What happened? Oh, VS Code just crashed. Great. Give me just a minute here. Let me just open the script, which was on my desktop. It has happened several times that VS Code just crashes like that. All right. Now, let's run the script. Okay. Yes. So this is what you mentioned. It would be a file that is external to me, and the file is this location right here. So for now, let's just all of this, let's have it as a script here. That makes it kind of like a location that allows me to. Why do we have a tools there?
That's the directory. The directory is called tools.
Okay, let's just have tools right here. This, what I'm doing right now, is a little bit better in the sense of you're having a path that is dynamic and it's not hard coded into a place in your computer. I don't know what sometimes is, but okay, let's have it there too.
Sometimes it's a subdirectory for some of the AutoHotkey. Those are all, it's recursively going through 3 directories. Tools sometimes, and main, I think.
Okay. I think it's running now that I changed or changed the thing. So what is the hotkey to open that?
Control Shift Alt L.
Control Shift Alt L. Okay, so let's look at this. The file is not there. What? The files, oh, okay, I know. It's Dropbox. That's who made the problem here. So it just said that the file was being used by another tool. And I know that my desktop is being synced. There we go. All right, so this is part of it. Shouldn't I have gotten a list of the scripts here?
Yes, well, I think you did. It's just that your directory is different from mine.
Very likely. So let me see, hold on. Here's where we have the checkboxes. Let me try that again. And what do we get here? Oh yeah, so that's the list, all right?
Yeah.
So right now, in my case, I do not have, let's say I do not have very long names. So let's go ahead and change the name of one of them to be very long and see what happens. So what happened here is That's a pretty long name. Let me show you what happens with the change I made. Okay, so let me remove this. All right. You see the name
Yeah,
is very long now, but
It
it
is.
moved everything to the right, I think. And actually, very interestingly, I think it handled it correctly in the sense of it didn't put another checkbox right next to it. You see that?
yeah.
It just made it on its own line. Let me test
Right.
something. Let me add another one. So if this is AI code, that was pretty good in the sense of, oh, there we go. No, so it is actually the location of the next thing is hard coded as well, which is a problem because now the thing that I have here is covering the other one that is below. So what we want is for the checkboxes to either, when the size is bigger than X amount, to put the next one below and so on. So what's happening here is this will take longer than I wanted, but notice that now the text is not being clipped. So let's clip it so you can see that this actually makes a difference. It was something like 270, right? So let's run it again. This is what was happening before. It was clipped and then it goes up on top of the one that was below, right?
Right, right.
But and probably the checkbox Y is the problem here. Checkbox Y, the X position. Huh. Let me try XM in here instead of an X position. Let me try that. We have the same width, but the thing goes to the next line. No, still, you see, so that creates the problem anyway. So I would say at this point, the solution is not very complex, but it will take me too much time to do it on the call. But the idea is you will have to tell AI, give it the instructions that if the name is more than 270 pixels, because that's your width,
Right.
it should put it in its own line instead of having two columns. All right. So it would just do one line instead of having two columns. And that would fix most of your problems. And
Okay.
also, I wouldn't use this width because it makes the thing like go vertically.
Oh.
What you want is to just not have a width so that it calculates it correctly, but then have AI calculate, okay, so if the name or the size of that control that you just added is more than 270 pixels, then the next control should be on a different line and not in the same line as that control. That would fix your problem in general, because right now, if I do this, it will somewhat nicely, notice how it created the two controls. One of them is longer than the other, but when I hover over it, it redraws it, and then the other control is not visible anymore. And that's the problem that we're having. So what we're saying is, if that control is too long like this, then instead of putting a control right to the right side of it, let's put it below it. You see? So we can have AI come up with that and do it for you. But your problem is the fact that you're doing this dynamically. And of course, when you're doing it dynamically, you don't know the width of the thing ahead of time. Which another way to do this is have a loop. So before this loop, you can have a loop here. You can tell AI, create a loop that calculates the widths of the names beforehand. And if the width is more than 270 pixels, have that control in its own line in the loop below. And I think AI might come up with something that would do that for you.
Now, what about the whole box though? It's got things.
Right.
Yeah.
So then after this is created, calculated, and this is created, Now below that, resize the root box to fit all the controls. And that you can do with AI to something like that, you know?
Right.
So as you can tell, with AI, you can get to the point that you want. The only thing is how to explain what you want. So I'm going to copy this into your copy of the code, and then later on you take a little time with AI to figure it out.
What I just do is I literally take screenshots and show it back to AI and say, hey, this is bleeding.
This is the problem, yeah.
And make it responsive or something, and it fixes it. Like,
Yeah.
It's smarter than you might think. I mean, I'm not knocking what Isaias is suggesting. He found the answer and said, here's what you need to do, AI. I just assume, hey, you know what you're doing, right? Like, this shouldn't, and I tell it, hey, align these things for me and make it, but the whole making it responsive, because it's a different approach, right?
Yes.
Make it where it'll adjust that. Don't hard code XY coordinates. That alone can really help you.
Yes, that is totally right. And again, it is part of the topic that we have been having for a while. We use AI in different ways because of the experience. So in my experience, I look at the thing and I know, oh, this is what I could do in that case. Yeah. If you don't have that, then what Joe is saying is lazy. Way better. Exactly. Then what Joe is saying is way better. You just take a screenshot, look at the problem I'm having, go ahead and figure it out.
Another thing is, Isaias, you and me, we like developing.
Yeah.
Joe don't. In fact, Joe hates developing.
Amen. Yeah, I 100% agree, Nick.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. So I don't know.
Grab 25% off all our AHK goodies, courses, scripts, and custom work so you save cash while building your toolkit like a boss. Members get unlimited access to 466 plus hours of video lessons, packed with AHK insights to binge learn whenever inspiration hits.